Heaven and Earth were engaged in cosmic showdown, hot Cold War as it is known, theater of world change forever. It is neither magic in the dark. Now it bears witness only to silent sentinels peering down on hostile activity, the reconnaissance satellites of an uncertain time. The Cuban Missile Crisis is where the Cold War reached its climax, and it is considered as close in nature as nuclear weapons could bring nations to total annihilation. The clash of missile arms between America and the Soviet Union at Cuba became a landmark event, the riskiest game ever played in the history of humankind, with almost universal annihilation of mankind as its outcome. This was a time when we all paused for breath with a sense that our species, as we know it, was on the brink of extinction. However, in its midst it was followed by another chapter, that is, the exploration of space. Exploration was adopted using weapons of war. Human ambition was packed in something that germinated out of Nazi Germany. Driving with brawn power, it was the United States that were destined to rule over space. In this case, the space superiority became proxy theater for the warring parties in the Cold War. In the space of one moment, the US set its flag on lunar grounds. The famous saying, "One small step for man and one giant leap for mankind" by Neil Armstrong resonated beyond the bounds of the universe, in keeping with the storyline of the Cold War. Even there, the Soviet Union managed to have its astronomical successes. This marked the beginning of the space age as the first manned spacecraft, Vostok 1, took Yuri Gagarin, a Soviet cosmonaut, and inserted him in the history's books of space exploration. The space race was much more than just an attempt at territorial claiming in the cosmos. It was ideological rivalry staged on an astronomical scale. The storyline of the Cold War goes beyond the planetary terrain. It penetrated into the tiny world of technologies, which the War of the Cold motivated advances in computer technologies. The massive SAGE project, almost as large as the Manhattan Project itself, formed the basis of today's systems for computing communication. It was also then that a new technology known as packet switching came into existence, and this led to an interconnected world. However, in the Soviet Union it was a difficult task because civilian and military interests were intersecting. The leadership opposed attempts to implement an integrated telecommunications system to link cities and factories via one comprehensive computer network. Centralized computing center in Moscow collapsed amidst the struggle for supremacy between the economic authorities. This was included in the cosmic dance. The eyes in the sky were high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft, e.g., the U-2, fitted with the latest photographic units to gather intelligence in the deadliest sectors in all the world. Atomic secrets were sent by spies functioning as shadows at night and added to the anxiety on either side of the Iron Curtain. Even space had the lingering voices from this espionage. During the Cold War, the détente was marked by the Apollo-Soyuz mission where American and Soviet spacecraft came close in a cosmic handshake. However, the Cold War legacy was not restricted to the geopolitical sphere alone. This entered the soils that were contaminated due to the fallouts of the producers' sites. Its aftertaste hung in the air and reverberated through the now-defunct institutions relying on these contracts for funding. Our lives were marked by the scars that we saw in the course of the Cold War as well. However, among the remains of the political battle, there was a beacon of hope. The political squabble on Earth was put aside, and the International Space Station flew out above it. It proved a demonstration of cooperation and a celestial bridge between two nations who were opposite ends of an ideological divide. The astronauts, however, would witness the world from a different perspective when the Cold War came to an end. They looked back home at Earth, which appeared like a fragile crystal from that distance, and got why it meant saving it. This tale told of a cosmic odyssey during the Cold War, of destructive quests turned towards exploration, of political struggles bringing forth scientific marvels, and warfare aiming at control becoming mutual acknowledgement of mankind as one family or people in the universe. But still to remind us that there exists friendly hearts even in the most darkest corners of the world despite the existing animosity. Please remember to like and subscribe.